And actually, this guy is gonna last minute stick on it. Yeah, it is. The Mr. Fantastic is lasting. Last time out, it had very little impact, but it does seem like something that maybe he wants to run in some of the early fights. And an immediate portal. They don't want to face this in the normal realms. They want to go from behind.
Yeah, and a strange
Immediate
pick
stop.
as well that isn't going to be persistent. The Venom taken instead. They just need to wait a moment to allow Venom to close that distance. He'll be swinging into the site any moment now, and then the whole crew can start to make this push happen. It's going to be Mr. Fantastic as a second tank, essentially a half tank, coming in to back them up already. Wing Shuriken landing a ton of damage. This is the man we want to be on board with. November 24 absolutely annihilated his opposition in the previous game, and we heard it in the interview. We don't know why anyone would leave this hero open. Well, it's been put to bed off rip. It's happy to coming in with the pick, a response as well from Gnome, and they have pushed these attackers back, not back to their spawn though, but back to where that portal was earlier.
Oh dear, the strategists have not been left to help out their vanguards, and it's left a very awkward battle and escape being attempted by Ripasuko. That early success that he found in pretty much every single map has been slaughtered, and this is the thing. You can remove the likes of Adam Warlock. You can try and do damage to Happy, but
Nice.
it's just so good. Fair play, Flo. A nice 1v1 battle that goes his way.
Yeah, it's not easy to win those fights. I mean, obviously you got Psionic Vortex and Force Physics to do damage, to position those players. You can pull them back into your Psionic Vortex. That's exactly what we saw. There is November 24 showing up and taking down the backline Storm. A lot of the damage out of play. Eternal Bond in, the heals, the damage being done. It's forcing them back. And on this defensive side, they actually go forward. They decide to take the fight right to their opposition. Invisible Boundary in play. Keeps the defenders alive for at least a little bit longer. Allows them to push deeper into this fight, but the same comes in return. It's a stalemate. It results in a slow fall back. The thing almost goes down, but somehow is kept alive. Not for long though. With Flo and November 24 falling, this battle is soon to come to an end. Down goes another healer, and down goes the thing. Another reset for the side of that attack, and now, well, Euphoria, they get a moment to breathe.
Yeah, it's a little bit worrying as well that we've already witnessed an attempted change. Like, we've spoken about Ripasuko's Venom throughout the day, but they changed almost immediately. It didn't work at the initial dive, so they swapped things up to try and sort what was going wrong. They even got the initial pick onto Happy, who caused them problems in the first battle. They still didn't win. They still didn't manage to get much done on that initial site. And now just look at these passive positions currently being held. Neko's put that shield up just to give the DPS a little bit of an extra chance. A really good take though. And now Gaia with ult in hand, they've got to try and remove this before too much damage is done. And I'll be honest, I think the site could already be gone before they even get close.
Turn sideways to reduce the hitbox. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, the site indeed has been lost. We saw it taken over. We see 1-0 on the board, and that means that the statue of Bast is ready to walk on forward. Interestingly, the statue itself walks, which I only noticed recently. The little hologram, look, he's physically walking. That's cool. The more you know.
I do like this map a lot in general, just because of the sort of map effects that can come into play. At every single stage, there is something that can stand in your way, and maybe getting towards the gravity that forced them into the air. This battle, is initially going quite well for JT, but the heals are there to support, make sure that the thing will not fall easily. They are trying to make this one a little bit tougher. Again, Gaius has gone back over from Hela. Think about that Hela ult and how impactful it was. He's gone back to Mr. Fantastic.
We'll see. Perhaps there is some benefit to it. But right now, you look at the defensive side. All 6 ultimates. I mean, the Eye of Agamotto, goodness gracious, is about to be online. You're going to have a ton of options. The question is only how Euphoria use them. For now, they are falling back, letting them in, dodging the clobbering time for the most part. Only the one player caught in it. The heals can be focused. Invisible Boundary goes up. Shield in play for Doctor Strange just to block the damage. Now they move in. This is where the ults come into play. Eternal Bond is chipping away at their health, but the same has been put down in response now. Goddess of Death. No, in fact, no. It will be the Omega Hurricane that's put through, finding one, almost managing a little bit more. The damage boost comes in as the invisible boundary fades away. No more healing, and now the damage is being done. It's delivered all the way with the Goddess of Death. Maybe not even needed there in the end, but certainly cementing the victory.
That was such a fun fight, just because you mentioned that the defensive side had all the ults built up. So did the attack by the time they actually got into the fight. So that was everything for everyone. Sure, 1 or 2 ultimates are starting to come back online, the thing with clobbering time, but you start to look at that timer. 50 seconds left for them to try and get that extra little bit of chip damage that is enough to maybe get one of those high impact ults back online. It's starting to get a little bit dangerous for FunFun, but again, the supportive heals have been fantastic. Clobbering time, it does manage to get one, but it's immediately traded out. The Hellas with a killer piece. Another coming up for Happy once again. This guy always seems to make the headlines as those daggers landing every single shot. Give this man an opportunity to hit scan, and he will find you those eliminations.
Yeah, with the pressure put on the tanks as well. You know, someone like Guys is trying to deliver those shots back in return, but just can't do it with the shield in his way. The portal taking the highlight here is going to be used to quickly reposition with their force back. He's in stuck. The floor is blocking them from getting through. What in the world? Okay, it's taken a minute, but they're here, but they fragment on the way through, trickle into the site, give opportunities. Luckily, that's all being reset on. The damage re-healed, and now a big fight on the side. Omega Hurricane having been used. The attackers, they're losing. They're losing their tanks. Both the heals were not landing. They're being blocked. A step forward from Doctor Strange as well. That shield just stopping any projectiles from making it through, isolating the players on the point, and the payload will move no more. That is a solid defense.
Oh, yeah, really nice. I love as well that you have this sort of 1-2 punch between the two duelist players, where you have Storm, who's a lot of the main viability comes off playing with the team, like having that damage boost, giving your teammates that extra little oomph. And then you had the other side of it where Happy is playing super passive. So you're trying to deal with this Storm and you're being peppered by daggers from that backline. It was a lot of sort of aggressive bans coming through to try and make this fight a little bit more awkward, and it definitely seems to have done the case, because I think that Happy, of course, and ASD just did a fantastic job. But again, though, it did seem to come down to a lot of the timing of those ults. Like, I do think that's where Euphoria have been better than any other team in the tournament, is they are very patient. Like, they will happily let you use your ultimates first in order to try and get theirs in at the exact prime moment. And it's risky. If you get it wrong, you lose. Like, you maybe you lose a play you shouldn't have done, or someone falls in the wrong moment. You get it right, as they seem to do a lot, and you win those fights 9 times out of 10.
We're going to see these changes again until those doors open, and even then, I don't know that Happy
they're
will
not
be
playing
sticking on the Doctor Strange. That would be a questionable play, to say the least. But a portal will be set up now. They'll look for the teleport. We'll see likely even more changes. Happy will swap, but yeah, ASD is also going to change. Triple tank is not really the play either. But now they've got the damage. See what Happy swaps to. Probably the Hella. And then, yeah. The only thing is, Happy's going to take a while to get back here. Remember, it was Venom, so he could quickly make that relocate, because the portal disappears once you stop playing Strange. So for now, they're in the backlines, but they're -1 duelist, -2 now with that pick, and this has gone badly wrong.
This is not a hero that we've seen too much of. The Squirrel Girl coming through for Guys. It's something that has a high amount of overall damage, but at times it can be difficult to get those pickoffs through. But clearly just, I guess, struggling maybe a little bit more with some of the duelist heroes on the other side. So just looking for that all-out raw damage.
Well, it is just the observation that they're moving as a pack, right? And Magneto's not going to be able to absorb as many of those acorns as previously. Don't know why it took me so long to think of the word acorn, but there you go. Attack side on their way. They're making it up the ramp. They've touched the point. Now it's time to dive on down. Magneto gonna have to put his life on the line. We've seen this from JT before with the Thing. Was a monster, but now that little bit of a buff to Magneto, making him a squishy killer, and he's already claimed the life of one. Happy was putting up one hell of a show. That's all there is to say about it. This should be a complete reset again. The defenders pushing this clock way down low.
They've done well. I always like the fact as well that we're seeing a lot of the players of the thing really target those squishier characters. Like having this haymaker can do such a high amount of damage if you are the healer in the backline. The Eternal Bond is going to be utilized. The Meteor in attempt to try and delete it. It lands. The Kobe from afar, and that now makes this site take so much more difficult. This is looking perfect in the hold once again. A third attempt and a third failure for this attacking side. Thinking something might need to change.
Yeah, you look at what the defense has to work with as well. They weren't feeling much pressure when that push came through. We're about to have the ult online for Squirrel Girl, but you look past that. They've already got Cloak and Dagger. Didn't use it in the previous fight. Great detain, but they have to fall back. Goddess of Death was used here?
Yeah, that was Happy's ult. That's nowhere near the action. I think that must have been a misclick because that has now left Happy completely out of this battle. We're going to see everything being spammed through. The Eternal Bond placed onto the site. We're going to see Dance of the Flowers being attempted to do some damage. The same can be said for the Hurricane. Just looking to try and clear as many players as humanly possible. Euphoria are investing so much into this. This needs to be the battle that they take, but they're still struggling to clear this man from the site. JT, once again, just seems to pick up so much value on this Magneto. That is a 3-kill from him. And it's done, I think. That's them out of this battle once more, and resetting might not even have enough time.
30 seconds. Look, they'll be able to get boots on the ground, but it's got to be an all-out rush. Again, the change to Doctor Strange. They know they can't get through that choke point. They've tried, and it did not work. Instead, it's a Strange portal. They're going to take the opposite high ground, try to battle this out from afar, but 10 seconds left, and it's them that need to get down on that site. That's a problem, because Squirrel Girl just got a pick. Here comes the Squirrel Tsunami, and it's unbeatable. Taking down another. The damage being dealt. Euphoria, the clear favorites, we thought, but it looks like we may be proven wrong. This is another fight that sees so much at the disposal of this defensive side, and there it is. The dance of the butterfly put through. The damage dealt should be way too much to recover from. And sure, some players are on their way back. They've got some responses of their own, but what can they really hope for? It needs to be flawless. It's getting close to it. 2 quick picks, 3 picks. They might be back in this one. They need to deal with JT. JT's picking them off again, though. And that has saved the day. What a game to start off this grand final. We don't even get to see the second checkpoint. It stopped at the first.
There was a world where I was watching ASD in those finals moments with the Dance of the Butterfly just start doing astronomical amounts of damage, but was it ever in doubt who the MVP of that? If that's the way we're going to start this off, I'm really excited.
So it's worth noting that now Spider-Man, when he presses C, that ability is not going to last as long as it did before. I think it's down to 1 second for him and 2 for Penny Parker, but it is going to make him completely invincible. Now, last time we saw them play this map, Euphoria had Happy on the Bucky that's been banned, and he was 30-2. So reasonable to remove that hero. Let's see, though. if Spider-Man can see that same flare for Happy.
Oh, you say that it was the last map. So Gaia's is actually on Winter Soldier right now. So this is an active choice.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
For.
What the hell?
It was the last map. This time they opted to actually protect instead. We'll see though. We'll see what Happy can actually do. It might just be for these early fights. I think this first point is so difficult to hold on to that a lot of teams will take some risks. Try and go for something a little bit different. Fun with that Venom. Trying to play Rejects at their own game. Try and do as much as he can in those early fights, but already sort of losing his partner in crime in Spider-Man is now just going to lurk in the backlines. Maybe try and remove one of those extra strategists, especially with Happy looking to try and come around the back. Maybe wanting to try and team up together as they will look to try and clear some of that back. But so far, it hasn't been going great.
Yeah, he's in and he's out just as quickly. Another attempt, at least getting the heals, getting the focus, the soul bond, but 70% away from the ult when Bucky pops off again. He's going to be firing down, and they need the support onto those healers who are being dove on. The combo of the Bucky ultimate having the thing as well. The damage output is insane. There's a fight on the side, but again, Bucky is here with the ultimate, and there is nothing left to do. A cleanup and a couple of ultis still in play for the side of Rejects.
This is really interesting. They're opting to basically try and play them at their own game and have November 24 also sat over on Adam Warlock. Already though, there goes Neko right back into the fray. That's probably not the start they were looking for as they're trying to regroup and slow this one down again. We see a lot of teams doing this, getting very proactive on this second point because the chokes can be so rough to try and get back through. They have managed to do it though, but that man JT is right on the front line looking to brawl.
Spectacular spin online for Happy. That's the Spider-Man ultimate ready to roll. Might be needed. Yeah, it's going to be used to try to bail those tanks out. They were in a little bit too much trouble, and now it's Happy that's traded places with them. He goes down in their stead, and that prompts Rejects forward. A big push, a lot of damage. The magic missiles again dealing damage, and the soul bond activated. Looks like, although Neko's gone down, November 24 is still sitting healthy. And now in comes the Kraken impact to decimate the remaining defenders. That was a quick and clean execution. The fact that November 24 doesn't even go down is astonishing.
They've made this look so easy. And immediately, this is exactly what happened last time. So bear in mind, we saw this with Happy playing that Star-Lord and then swapping over right on this point to bring in that Winter Soldier. Clearly feeling this is where you get the most value from that hero. But it's going to have to be the same again. This is exactly what happened before with Euphoria. They were able to slow the point from this stage onwards. With Mantis, ASD has done well, but Happy, there has been nothing for him so far. Already eliminated once more. And although they got rid of November 24 for a second, he's right back from the fray.
Right back into the action indeed. This is a problem. Being this close. And for the defensive side, look, they're just stood on the choke point, firing into the masses, attempting to build up those ultimates, but it's the attack side that has them ready to go. And as soon as Eternal Bomb comes out, the Meteor M is aimed at its target. It finds the other support somehow, and that's almost more devastating. Eternal Bond about to fade, and with that, they'll have nothing to fall back on. The rotations need to come in. The res available, activated by November 24. Reinforcements are here. The heals are in right off rip, and it's guys taking down Fun. No thing to work around anymore. Mantis, though, able to keep them alive and bail them out of trouble, but November 24 getting isolated doesn't bode well for this fight. In goes Happy, ultimate active, lands a shot, there's another, ult back, and he's firing it for safety. He uses it to fall back, needing the heals, desperately close to being dropped. The hook going out and not finding its mark to start with, but good damage on the follow through. And as they're just falling back, there's nothing really to worry about. The defense has done well. They've gotten rid of that first push, but still 3 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, some really high impact strategist ults in that moment. I think although you said like they managed to take down the other couple of healers, it was the fact that not going down kept that Eternal Bond online, kept the team alive, so they were able to fight a little bit more. Now the Kraken switches hands, goes into the other direction, but it hasn't had the impact. We've seen that Soul Bond keep the team standing, and once again, it is another look at that Eternal Bond to keep them alive. The strategists right now doing God's work for the side of Euphoria to keep them in this map.
Cosmic might.
Oh, look at that damage! November 24, and guys pushing forward with the thing leading the charge, and this is decimation. They are sent packing towards the spawn, but they can't get through the gate before they've lost another. That's cloaked down, and the problems start to compound. That payload incredibly close to the world tree now. Meteor M taking aim and finding another. Less and less heals by the second, and just a few eliminations away from taking it all the way. 3.9 meters and a couple of bodies in between, but the quick respawns and right back on the horse, ready to fight, are the defensive side of Euphoria, who will not give up on this just yet.
Oh, it was close. It was so incredibly close. And we've seen that now from ASD. We sort of mentioned him as one of those high-level DPS players who are currently stuck on that Mantis, but still able to show how much value you can find from the strategists with the self-damage boost here and there. Well, they got it within a matter of meters, but they haven't managed to get it over the line just yet. Still holding true. Fun actually, I believe, brought this hero into play just to try and clear the backlines. Have stuck with it for now to try and hold them back that little bit further.
Us against the world.
Well, Karmic Revival online for the attack. They can take some risks to push forward. They've already lost one tank, and that's the ult used to bring him back. Soul Bond, so he's right back up to full health, and a chance here as they now push in from the top. Low HP on a couple players, but they've fallen back to the healers. They've gotten out of dodge with most of their health intact. Magneto desperate to take a deep pick, and despite one going down, immediate ult canceled, denied. In fact, the Cocoon, well, they're going to be straight on him, surely. All around are tanks. It's Magneto. He's doing a lot of damage and quickly finishing him off, leaving this down to just Hella, who, well, there's no chance of standing on that point up against this squad. A quick touch needed and not found, and Meteor M was there to shut down anyone who made it near the payload. They've managed to bring it all the way to the end. Only 20 seconds left on the clock, though.
Yeah, it felt like it was going to be much more time available, but there's some solid fights towards the end. I think Fun switched to the thing, which just got them onto the point. It was almost done. If he didn't have the shift to pretty much run through the street charge that got them that extra space, I think that would have been over much quicker. The thing is, though, that they now have to do the same on the other side. Now, when we watched Euphoria last time on this map, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they did make it all the way to the end. That would be enough, but I think we've already witnessed that this opponent has been quite a bit tougher, well, firstly than anyone else they faced, or even just the last time around.
This should help me last longer.
Well, that's it. Yeah, something is definitely different this time. They should have listened to Flo. Let's see if they can put a stop to this aggression coming out of Euphoria. They're now going to be on that push. Of course, the task that they have is to push that payload all the way to the end. I think that based on what we've seen so far, Bucky, pretty strong. Understand why most people are banning him. The last map, he was taken out, and I was very much expecting him to not be in play here either, evidently. But that Freudian slip, perhaps they'll hope that that was a reality, or that they'll wish it was. Because Bucky's been doing crazy damage, man. I feel like every time there's a slight leg up in a fight, or even there's just question about which way it will go, I hear again, and it's over very quickly.
It has to be the most impactful ult we've seen, either that or the Hurricane out of Storm. I think it's been so good for just clearing out those strategists. Nonetheless, though, somehow, I was going to say it always seems to be JT. This guy just makes Magneto look so overpowered. I'm certain your ranked games, you'll be thinking that maybe you can play as well as JT. I'm going to put it out there and tell you right now, you cannot.
Well, our lovely goats, Tooth Grinder and Tooth Gnasher, trying to escort Stormbreaker all the way to the World Tree, but well, there's a little bit of a roadblock ahead of them in the form of 6 very powerful heroes who don't seem to be budging. the moment, this is all about rejects. Not just this map, but this series as well. It's time for Euphoria to step up and claim the crown that, well, they've had before, at least half the team. Armed and dangerous is Bucky. He's coming in hot again. He's going to be raining down hellfire from above, claiming KO after KO. He goes up top now. But this time he slept. That won't stop him though. Still in with the damage, close to the kill, and all this is buying time, running the clock down. Adam Warlock, oh, there it is. Shots onto Happy Land, the magic missile working out again in favor of rejects. Nothing seems to be going Euphoria's way today.
Yeah, they've at least managed to find their footing though. A large amount of kills coming through, and eventually they're going to be able to clear out the remaining players. The thing is, from what we've seen so far on this map in particular, that first point's normally the easiest, and it doesn't look like it's done just yet. Gaius is actually the one after dying that's going to switch over to Strange, get that portal in for the team. Not normally the hero that we expect to see him playing, but it's just to try and get that space. The problem, though, is Happy's there again. What he's able to do with this Adam Warlock, how he's able to do so much damage while utilizing that Cosmic Cluster. For now, though, they're trying to pop their ults. They're trying to get themselves back into position. JT back on point with that Magneto is always something to fear, always something to worry about. The problem, though, is that it does still feel like this attack has it on point. Never mind. Things start to change. Bump finding a kill.
Oh my, indeed. It looks like they had a lot of value found from the back of the Soul Resurgence that was activated there by ASD. As soon as that comes online, they're able to take this fight that little bit more aggressively, and the heal difference from the ult is what separates the two in that battle, I think. Now, they've made it to that first checkpoint. Now it's this big bend. Big problem getting around this corner, I suppose. It relies on heavy ult usage. Very efficient ult usage from your side. There are a few there. Oh, clobbering time used here by the defense. Will they get a pick on the back of that? There's a lot of healing coming through. Oh, that's a lot of damage, though. Try to out-heal this. You'll have a tough time. Shield goes up, at least keeping their Bucky alive a little bit longer. Res comes into play. Soul Bomb to the back. They need to keep this squad alive, and they've done it. Fun's right back up to full, ready for the fight, taking the battle up close. Res in on the other side, though. It's all being put on the line for this duel. Clobbering time comes into play. Fun looking for the response, but they're not landing it. Eventually, November 24 goes down. That's a healer. Great hook as well. Magneto able to shield himself and get right out of there, but they might have seen Mantis, isolated her up above. I thought she was in trouble. It seems she is the trouble. She's the one to drop Bucky, and then the response is immediate. Everybody comes charging in, and just like that, a stone haymaker delivered. The defense is right back on the goat.
Solid stuff. And that's the thing. You think about how much time is already being bought, how far they managed to get by this point. Like, those first two were almost fairly easy when you think back to how that first half went for the side of rejects. And now Euphoria seem to be stumbling each time they look to get through, and just as they get back into position, the Kraken is there again to just pretty much decimate them. Having to already fall back, sure, they won't be too far away from the spawn already, so they will be back into the fight in a moment's notice, but it does seem like the whole goal here from the side of Rejects is just stagger them as much as humanly possible.
Oh, 100%. Delay, delay, delay. That is the name of the game. Managing to find another pick. That's Happy down. And further delay to this push. Now Neko falls. Stagger after stagger. Another down. Oh, this is a death blow delivered right to the spawn door. They have chased them as far as the map physically allows. The only thing stopping them are the laws of physics themselves. This is hard to watch with a minute left on. We talk about good ult usage. Well, ult advantage for the attackers, sure. Although now it's just evened out. They need to win every single fight from this point forward.
Yeah. The terrifying thing is what I said. Normally, that third point can be the toughest. And guess what? Oh. The Kraken's back once more. Already looking to combine. I think even being utilized on both sides. An attempt to do damage, but there's only one man coming out on top. And that is Gaius. Been superb on this character. It was banned in the last map for a reason. And they decided to try and go 1v1 with the Beast. And while it really is not going well, the Thing looking to just pound that backline, but doesn't want to overextend. Just look at the clock. 20 seconds up and coming left on it. They do not need to overextend, and you know what? They do maybe a little bit.
Because they've got Karmic Revival, bringing the team right back online. And once this push comes to shove, that's when Soul Resurgence comes in. Not only that, they've got Invisible Boundary, or not Invisible Boundary, it's a cloak, of course. So Eternal Bond online. A lot of healing ultimates for the defensive side if they need them. And now they will. With the ults on the other side, they'll just counter this, completely nullifying the effects and allowing them to still stand ground and fight all the way to the end. But Euphoria are the ones winning that fight. It's clobbering time by the looks of it. The ult not needed. He is dealing with them here and now. But there's another fight coming, and they have to win that if Euphoria want a chance.
Well, that's the thing. Cloak went down on the other side. Hippopotamus fell before using the ultimate in that previous fight, so that means that everything is coming back at them. They can literally throw all of those ultimates in a matter of moments, looking to heal, looking to pull out that Kraken once again, and maybe cause a clobber in time. They are looking to just force them off that point. That's all they really need to do. That overtime is already ticking down with players dropping left, right, and center, and here comes the Kraken looking to clear out the healers from the backline. That's already one dropped, and that clock is getting dangerously low. They need to make sure players don't step off the point for even a moment. The res could be everything, bringing back those attacking players from the fray, but they are still taking casualties, still losing players, and that clock on overtime is ticking so dangerously low. They cannot leave this for even a second, and unfortunately, they have.
1, 2, 3.
What a showing so far, not just in this game, but today from the side of Rejects. They have looked absolutely phenomenal, and fighting for the side of Loki here. He may have been banned, but he still takes ultimate victory. Yggdrasil is his. And now it looks like this series is shaping up to be Rejects. They have played a phenomenal game, and just look at that scoreboard, man. Yes, guys had a great game. That was a big focus for Euphoria, was removing that potential. And now it's left open and capitalized on by both squads.
Yeah, I think just the power of that aquatic dominion, like being able to have an extra ice squid, it just does so much damage with the refresh rate as well on that ability. So I think that's a huge pull-in. Now, we haven't actually seen much Punisher since yesterday. I don't think this is the first time it's being pulled out. Obviously, good opportunity to do large amounts of damage, and no surprise to see the rocket thrown in tandem. Obviously, the chances for unlimited ammo are always nice.
Yeah, they certainly help, don't they? The high ground has been taken, or at least is being contested by the attackers as well. For now, there seems to be no access. They've gotten themselves a touch on the side itself, and now presumably going to be just dragging them down. Yeah, it's just right clicks, and nothing but right clicks, keeping them alive down there. And despite the fact that they've made it through the choke point, Rejects can't get on the point itself. There's just too much damage waiting for them. You got to deal with the turret up top. You got to deal with Strange down below, who's just getting pump healed. But now it's a little bit of a different scenario. These players that previously had the high ground have to get down and battle. Happy's there, picking off one as they do. Somehow ASD is barely hanging on to life. The healers putting in work to keep him alive as Euphoria dominate in the duels. It seemed like every gun was pointed at the Punisher, yet somehow he stayed completely fine.
Oh, really big team fight. And I think as well, like, again, one of those aspects for this squad that was so difficult to deal with was that Magneto. It being gone from play has made a pretty big difference. You see JT now back on the thing, and they've already got rid of the Venom. It seems like it wasn't working. This, though, is where I do think Happy could bring extreme amounts of value. We've seen it already from him, playing the likes of Adam Warlock already, Hela as well. His aim is as crispy as it gets. So give him the Trident of Namor, there's going to be damage.
Well, the blessings of the deep, yeah, they could certainly be blessings for this squad. That's a lot of damage going through. Guys able to take down one, and the butterflies have found him. It's going beautifully. A dance on the site, and well, top marks for the side of the attackers. It's Rejects running riot and taking everything. At this point, should be a formality. I hear a portal, though, and a chance, perhaps. The ultimate coming through from ASD. There's one found from up top. A little more to add to it. And okay, a deep ult from Doctor Strange. That's something that I'm not sure was worth it, was what I was going to say. Biggest misread of my life. My goodness. It's ended up slowing them down, getting damage in, making him get back to his teammates, who now are grouped up, already taking the point. Groot's forced to make a last-ditch effort to bail into the point, giving up his life for just an extra couple seconds, and that was best case scenario. Never mind what I was going to say. Ripasuko knows this game a hell of a lot better than I do. Beautiful play.
It always seems to be the case. You doubt these guys for even a second, and somehow they turn it into a win. Again, we see them look to take a lot of that deep control. Now, I will say a decent resistance on that early point from the side of Euphoria. Bought themselves quite a bit of extra time to sort of fight with going into the next stage. And I do think ASD as well on the Punisher has definitely been causing them issues. Speaking of issues, though, you ban one thing and you're left with another. This is clean, though. Just a decimation of this attempted push forward. Even going to be Kadia being able to close out one of the final kills. ASD looking very, very comfortable right now on that Punisher. And the combination you get out from Rocket, it does so much for your squad.
Now, this is firepower, as I'm sure we're going to hear Neko say fairly soon. It's been a little ult farm moment as well. Both squads with clobber in time coming in. Stampede as well underway. The squirrel impact being kind of negated by this man here. Infinite ammo in this man's hands is dangerous. These big guns coming out even more so, but the ult is there to keep them alive. Somehow Luna Snow, with the fate of both worlds in her hands, has kept the team in fighting form, but now they need a little bit more. Invisible Boundary comes into play. The battle inside it, it's looking good for the side of Rejects with another found. That was on the back of Absolute Zero from Luna Snow. The default attack doing damage. The also the dance of the butterflies. A desperate attempt from November 24 to land a little bit more value. And it looks like that will be delivered on. Looking for more again. It's an overextension. One that gets punished. The payload isn't moving. They can't catch Rocket. This guy's just dancing around on Rocket. That's beautiful.
Neko was literally just going round and round. And that's the thing with the guy is playing the Squirrel Girl is, okay, you have to sort of pre-fire. You have to lead the shots in. And when you're Rocket just dancing, it makes it so difficult. Eye of Agamotto has landed on the Groot at least, and they're going to try and push them all the way back towards that spawn. Make sure there is no hope for them battling for this first. They've managed at least to get onto the point, but I don't think there's any way that they managed to hold this one. We are going to our third and final, and well, JT's looking to try and get there a little bit earlier. You banned his Magneto, and he's looking to clobber them for it.
Yeah, this is the problem. You ban his Magneto, you put him onto the thing, and there's really not much of a difference for your game. You're just as miserable as you were before, just in a slightly different way. This is a clean push. 0.37 meters when that contest came in, and just stepping off the point for 1 second, a millisecond, and it's done and dusted. Now, the chance to contest, though, before they get halfway to the checkpoint, it will be this choke point duel. But the tank staying up aggressive, absorbing quite a bit of damage, getting those healer ultimates back up and online. We can already see that if danger comes in, Fate of Both Worlds is online for Hippopotamus to bring them right back up to fighting for him. That's the butterfly, leaves them low, and is capitalized on by November 24. That's a healer down, Strange gone, Groot out of the game, and a full reset needed now for the defense. Even then, they are going to have to rush this payload. Time is of the essence. Now, that one I'm not so sure about.
Oh, we've seen the pop attempted by Punisher, looking to try and clear out anybody that he absolutely can with a final judgment. It's only going to be the singular kill, and that was the thing. The whole idea, the concept just moments ago was to try and deny them with that ult, but the thing is they don't even get remotely close. And I actually think this time November 24 needs to be given almost all of the credit. There is a moment where you see Rocket throw out that damage boost, the Seer ultimate, something that on its own has received a lot of critique, but in a team play setting combined with final judgment, that's a team wipe. And the second it goes down, immediately you see the dance of the butterfly in play and kills Punisher. And that, oh, we saw it just now. It came in a little bit early on. It got 1 kill and the point still crossed over the line. So it was all about that timing. And November 24 is a world-class expert of rocking your timing and ruining your plans.
Really beautiful gameplay. It's pushed us to here, and obviously your Eye of Agamotto as well that came in right at the end. I said I'm not sure about that one. You know, that's an Eye of Agamotto, I'll say, won't have the same impact as the last, but it was just to get a quick switch onto Captain America, have that little bit more mobility around the point, ability to contest further, because I think these more static tanks were being punished so heavily in those late fights. So an understandable switch, and so obviously you're not just going to waste 50% of the ultimate. You might as well use it. The game's about to end. 3-0 though. Rejects.
Where's this going?
On the defense. They've made it the full way on the attack. Yeah, where is this going? They're gonna have some.
Is he doing the portal bait? I wonder. Well, because there's also where you wait if your opponent will do a portal. No, yeah, it literally is just going to be an attempted dive on them. Just basically catch them from behind. I think, yeah. Maybe they were going to try and do the portal off the map if their opponents were going to try and take the high ground. We've seen a few teams attempt that, although I think it's more likely to work in your ranked games than in a game like this. But already, this immediate attempt at a brawl has left quite a lot of damage being taken. I like the pick of the Hulk. Maybe just try to be a little bit more disruptive and aggressive in those moments. But, well, it's an early start already on the board for Gaia's.
2 healers down. Yeah, it's a huge problem now. I don't know what you're going to do on that defensive side. There's been a shutdown. Okay, we'll block out for Ripasuko. He's closing the distance. He's doing the damage. Not afraid to get his hands dirty. And yeah, look, at the point where Namor's sitting on high ground, it's a very dangerous position. I think that's something that on this attack Euphoria now are going to have to try to deal with, because you can't have him just up there picking off the healers and having free reign of the place.
That's the thing. You have that. You have a get out of jail free card with the bubble to make sure that you're not going to be falling too easily. I like this. We're seeing the fact that JT is consistently moving back towards his teammate tank, basically trying to get into a position where they can help out the other vanguards as well. Riverzoko's already going to get rid of Happy, trying to beat them at their own game. We saw this before where November 24 was challenged on this Psylocke, and I will tell you for free, that challenge failed miserably. Happy has been one of those players to really look good throughout this tournament. That's unfortunate. Strategic's ult just a little bit too late, and now they've all been caught with the Eye of Agamotto. They're trying everything to break back into this side here, but they are losing a lot of the battle. That is a big kill coming out, though, from the side of Kadia.
Seems to have helped out, indeed, but look at the high ground. Who's just firing down from up there? It is, of course, Namor. He's dropped down. Falling back a little bit, but a little bit too late by the looks of things. Just about makes it around that corner, gets himself healed back up, but while he's sitting away, cocooning himself, the big fight on the site has to go down. A minute 30 on the clock, but that payload's almost unleashed. Big hit from Fun, looking for more. Hulk really will smash this time. No more, not getting out of there alive. The pick's coming in for the attack, and it looks like they've done enough to get this across the line. Just housekeeping, punishing those last few players.
Well, you activate the World Breaker, the Mega Hulk, and you're immediately frozen by Luna Snow. It's going to be unfortunate, but the job's done. That was the goal. Get yourselves in, get yourselves onto the next point, and while Fun really is having a wonderful time already, forcing Doctor Strange all the way back, we'll group up with the rest of the team as they look to get as much ground. And again, this is something we mentioned throughout the tournament thus far from the side of Euphoria. They are not a team that likes to sit back. They are constantly looking to try and pressure as far forward as they can without overextending. That's the big thing, though. You don't want to get caught, because then you go all the way back to your spawn.
Yeah, they very much can't lose that mojo, though. Getting aggressive and running down that clock, it could be the difference between 2 fights or 3. Getting to this getting this payload to the checkpoint, excuse me. No more. It's got a good angle. Oh, but they've just about made it into the invisible boundary. That's a brave play.
Oh, no.
Going diving in and just giving Namor the pick. Oh, this is devastating. There's no way out. The only question is how many will be staggered and how long will it take to get back? Beautiful.
That was the thing. I feel bad for Flo in that moment. It was a choice between dancing with the butterflies or going straight back into the Namor. And honestly, Namor probably was the lesser of the two evils.
Yeah.
I don't think you're surviving that ult as a squishy character, but that is an unfortunate truth. Already getting over halfway on this second point in relatively good time. It's whether or not there is going to be a response here from Rejects.
Well, there's one at least. The Luna Snows will be traded out. Euphoria lose one of their tanks as well. Happy trying his best to recover on that kill. 15 HP. Repasuko barely alive, but makes it out. The tank for the defense. He's still in trouble. I thought he was out, but he got pulled back in. The Squids finishing him off, and Euphoria running riot with these picks, finding every single thing, and the Hulk buying them precious time. Now just a few meters away from hitting that checkpoint. They need to run. Rejects need to contest it now, and it looks like the portal will be used. They'll try to step in, but it's too little too late.
Keep up the momentum.
It has such a hefty cooldown on it as well that it probably means there's not going to be much of an opportunity to reuse, although saying that, at this point, you're not really going to use it. You spawn directly in spot, so chances of it really having a mass use is fairly slim at this stage. I'll say Fun on the Hulk has been a huge pickup. I think we saw this a lot in OCE. The Hulk usage was really massive for the squad, but he has definitely been a difference maker in this one. Obviously, the only goal here is to get it all the way as quickly as possible. November 24 still fighting tooth and nail, though. Again, just causing them issues on this Psylocke. It's been a joy to watch him play this specific character.
We got that little reroute up top. And November 24 is very much lurking in wait. 84% of the ultimate, and seeing if there's going to be someone that steps out of line a little bit too far. Namor, I talked about the danger that this man poses, and you see it there. Damage done. Connected on the kill with the teammate trade. Repasuko gonna struggle to get out of here, but luckily gets inside the invisible boundary. It's right back up to fighting health, and it's a chaotic battle that sees so much damage being output by this Doctor Strange. A pick found, and slow as they might, the payload is still moving. It's November 24's time, and the response of the ultimate for ultimate trade going very much in favor of Rejects to start and to finish. The Hulk got out of there for a point.
Yeah, we saw both Dance of the Butterflies go in there, and neither was particularly impactful. I think we've seen the same as well, like the use of Fate of both worlds a couple of times now from this attacking squad that hasn't necessarily saved the players that they needed in the moment, but at the right time, Euphoria have got themselves into a possible position. Time, however, already ticking down. 50 seconds at the marker, lower than what their opponents had. And at this stage, there's going to be consistent respawns at a close position. Happy trying to pressure. They want to try and get rid of Gaias, and that's exactly what they've done while still standing strong, looking to try and get him behind them. And that's so much damage from ASD. That might be the turning point of this one. Just look at the try and clear out those remaining Vanguards. Even still, though, some damage has been done. There's an opportunity, as said, with the respawns to get back into play before they try and take over that line, but they need to deal with this aggressive position of Fun before they can.
You know, it's bad when not even Invisible Woman's ult can help you. That Invisible Boundary doing next to nothing, but here it comes in now for the defensive side. I mean, it's certainly helping them out, winning all the duels, and there's nothing to say in response. All they can do is watch as just a few meters separates these two, but it will be enough by the narrowest of margins. Again, they've done it. A matter of meters in between them. Oh, that is devastating. And for Euphoria, Tom, I can only imagine the feeling seeing this turn from a BO7 into 4 maps in a row needed.
Well, for them, it's still BO7. They need to win all 4.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. BO1 for your opponent is 4 times.